All right, look, winter is here, and I hope you hoes got a coat. Listen, Donald Trump has decided in his big, beautiful bill to begin to roll back government spending. One of the things that's on the chopping block that people are afraid of, EBT. That means no more free rides. Now, there's been a lot of mixed responses to this, so we're going to check that out right now.
Well, this week, for more than 2 million Americans, you lose your SNAP benefits. Because of those work rights and those income guidelines and changes, over 2 million Americans will lose their SNAP EBT benefits. Welcome to Republican world. Welcome to the big, beautiful bill. You know all them people who voted.
He sound like Jesse Lee Peterson.
A lot of y'all was getting EBT. Over 2 million, y'all won't get them no more. Nope, they gone. Your benefits are gone. Don't be shocked. You voted for this. You voted for less benefits, so you are getting exactly what you deserve. I can't believe it's only 2 million. And another 4 million will have their benefits reduced drastically by at least 50%. Welcome to the world of Donald Trump, where he's going to take all your resources. He's going to take all your food. Oh, yeah, groceries high. So how you going to eat? You're going to eat less. You're going to lose a lot of weight. You won't be getting no snacks no more. Them cookies and candy. No, for over 2 million EBT recipients, you don't have them no more. And over 4 million will be slashed by more than 50%. Get used to it.
I can't tell if he for it or against it, but he right. Like, you know, it's time for those recipients to understand how the world really works. You got to get out there. You got to get to it. Winter is here.
What I'm not understanding is, why are some of you rejoicing about people losing their EBT and SNAP benefits? Like, what is that going to do? It's not going to do anything for you. It's not going to get you extra eggs, extra bacon, extra milk. It's not going to do anything for you. So why are you so bothered by what someone decides to do with their stamps? Oh, all they want to do is not work. Not everybody who receives government assistance is lazy and doesn't want to work. Like, y'all haven't messed up. You're not going to receive any extra money on your check. You're not going to get anything by somebody possibly losing the way they provide and feed their family. Why do you care that much? It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me enough for me to say, yes, it's about time. It's about time what? What is it going to do for you in your life?
Look how she explains it. She looks at it as their stance, but this is taxpayer funded. The tax that you like, I gotta feed your children. Yeah, I'm not gonna get nothing extra in my check, but at least I know you ain't wasting my money.
Well, as y'all can see, food.
Oh Lord, it's a nigga in the bonnet.
Stamps has been cut. They have been cutting people food stamps off left and right today, or whatever, or whatnot. And I am so happy they are cutting people food stamps off. Y'all been sitting on these food stamps for 2-3 years. It's time to work. It's not fair to people who go to work every day. It's not fair to women who got multiple kids, but she go to work every day and she can't get food stamps. It's time, you guys. Y'all got to work. And it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. I'm happy that they're cutting food stamps. I'm happy. People, if you can work, you don't need food stamps. You can walk, you don't need food stamps. You can move your hands, you don't need food stamps. I said what I said. So are you guys happy they are cutting food stamps? And hold up. Now, if you disabled, I think they deserve food stamps. But if your ass can work, it just is what it is. Ain't no reason you should have been on food stamps for 5-6 years, boo. Thank you, Donald J. Trump. I approve that message.
Wait a minute, black women. I thought this was supposed to be your ally. What's going on? There's some dissension in the ranks. I don't know.
Okay, so I know I am going to get some backlash for this video. And ask me, do I care? Don't. Anyway, I am so disgusted from the videos I am seeing out here in reference to Trump cutting food stamps, the housing, the Section 8 housing. It's not funny. It's not funny because there are people that really need housing, that need food stamps. It's hard out here.
Listen to her talk all that shit from that big ass house she living in. You could tell she ain't living off on no food stamps, but go ahead, give your opinion, girl. We want to hear it.
And everybody is not just sitting around being lazy and don't want to work.
Yeah, so Donald Trump is finally agreeing that he will be shutting food stamps down. And I'm happy about it. I think too many women feel obligated to the government's finances.
Yes.
The government didn't make you drop out of school early and have a bunch
No,
of
they
kids.
did not.
The government didn't make you to have 4 or 5 baby daddies that's not in your child's life.
That's
the
right.
government didn't tell you, hey, don't go to school, don't be this and don't be that. But when the government started to help you guys out, Y'all thought that y'all could sit around and lay up on the government for the rest of your life, and that's not what's gonna happen. Trump is making people get out and work. Do like you did in the old days. We didn't have all this extra stuff. You had to get out and go do what you had to do. And now in this day and age, everybody got a chance to, the government's gonna help me do this, the government's gonna help me do that. They don't owe you nothing. Trump don't owe you nothing. The government don't owe you nothing. Get out there and do something for yourself. Stop raising your kids around on Section 8 housing and thinking they're gonna get grown and gonna be something. That is a lifeline that will be cut short.
The crazy part to me is how detached people are by not understanding that the government is your money. This is your taxpayer money. The money that you go out and earn every day, that's the money that they using to take care of somebody else's kids. And I'm not saying that it's good for people to go hungry. I'm not saying that. But change is hard and painful. So there's gonna be some byproduct that's gonna have to be, but you know, in the long run, I think that this is a positive thing.
Oh yeah, and for food stamps, you gonna have to work 80 hours a month to receive any type of benefits, on top of not being able to buy junk food. So you know that's about to cause an uproar. Then let me put the icing on the cake. It is now illegal to be homeless. So even though you getting kicked out to the streets not welcoming you with open arms. So what you gonna do? It's all on you, volume 2 now. It is all on you, volume 2. Section 8 has now turned into section -8, and food stamps have now turned into stamped for 9 food. Go get a job and make something of yourself, because now ain't the time to complain. It's the time to refine your lifestyle and redefine your choices. You've been a piss poor performing citizen for too long. I like to call this age the great reveal, because we will find out what you've been doing with your time all this time. I see you able-bodied and able-minded people in 30 to 60 days. No more bumming off the government and taxpayer dollars. It's time for you to do something.
And best believe these hoes gonna find some act right in they body. They gonna come to the negotiation table and say, damn, that mechanic looking good, cause he sure got a lot of food in that refrigerator. The requirements gonna go from Ruth Chris to a packed refrigerator. They're gonna be like, damn, you know, you got food? Oh, okay, well shit, you know, we can make something shake. 2-parent households, nuclear family ain't looking too bad now.
Let's break down the major claim flying around social media, that food stamp recipients are about to be hit with a new 80-hour per month work requirement to receive benefits. While the exact hour count can vary by state and category, the core message is clear. The era of no strings attached assistance is ending. For years, the debate has centered around accountability. Our clips show people saying they are not getting a job and claiming it's a taxpayer's responsibility to fund their children. Now, policy changes are forcing the issue. Is this new work mandate a harsh, politically driven move that puts food out of reach for vulnerable families? Or is it a long overdue correction, forcing able-bodied citizens to contribute? We want to know what you think. Is the government right to demand work from able-bodied SNAP recipients, or are they ignoring the realities of poverty and job scarcity? Drop your receipts in the comments.
So the people who are getting kicked off of EBT or severely cut, but there are no jobs, but the government's like, if you want to eat, you have to have a job. What's the workaround? How does that going to work?
You know, that's a very good question. But there's work out there. You just haven't been hungry enough to go find it. You see all these people that's crossing the border? They were hungry enough. And they were on a mission to change their life. They came over here and took it because they weren't dependent on you to take care of their ass.
Yeah.
You know, all those ones that's considered illegal, they're not supposed to be able to get food stamps, Section 8, and those kind of benefits. But some of them do.
If someone
change is painful but necessary, and especially when it comes to women, they're not gonna change unless they're forced to. They're gonna take the easy way out every time. So you got to think about it. This right here is gonna have some bad optics, and there's always gonna be some pain with growth, but this is a correction and it's necessary. They're saying that there are no jobs out there, but if you eating dependent on you being able to find a job, then you're gonna work way harder to be able to get that job to feed yourself.
If someone you know or you depend on food stamps, pay close attention. Major changes are coming under Trump's big beautiful bill. Let me break down what's changing, when it starts, and how it could affect your SNAP benefits. Now here's the timeline. October 1st, 2026, state will begin tightening SNAP eligibility. That means stricter income checks, faster recertification, and more documentation just to stay qualified. Now on December 31st, 2026, the new work rule begins. If you're 19 to 64 and don't have a documented disability, you will need to work, volunteer, or be in some type of job training at least 80 hours per month to keep your benefits. This applies to parents of school-aged children. Unless you have a baby or a toddler at home or some type of medical exemption, you will be expected to meet those work requirements too. Now, October 1st, 2027, states that make too many mistakes managing the SNAP program will face financial penalties. For example, New York had one of the highest error rates in 2023. Under the new law, they could be forced to repay up to 15% of program costs, which could result in title enforcement for everyone. This isn't to scare you, it's to prepare you. If you're able-bodied, now is the time to plan ahead. These changes are real, they are coming.
She's right about most of it. The specifics of the requirements for food stamps is the power is being put back into the states, and the requirement and responsibility is being put back to the states. So the states have control over what their requirements are or what their requirements aren't. But the penalty, that's real.
You know what I'm sick of? I'm sick of the food stamp offense, okay? Okay, hang on. Before I get myself worked up, I just came here to talk about how I went from literally $1,700 in food stamps for a family of 3, okay? I don't work. I stay home every day. I'm not able to work, so I should be getting the maximum amount. Especially because he needs cereal, chips, pop. He needs all that. And I need my energy drinks. So I'm not going to have this taking me down from that much. And they took me all the way down to $120. Which they didn't even tell me why. I just got this notice in here. It says they were cutting me back on food stamps. So now I'm really going to have to cut back on everything. He's not going to be able to have his pop no more. He's not going to be able to have his cereal every day for breakfast and his chips that he eats all day long. Wow. Great. Thanks.
So, I lost my job in March, and I signed up for SNAP food benefits. And I think it took me a couple of months to get them. I don't know if they do redetermination on single adults every 3 months or not, but I feel like I've been getting them for 4 months. Maybe it is 4 months. But I got my redetermination letter in the mail, and it says I have to send it in by a certain date. I am so happy that I don't have to send this in, because I got a job today. And I can't wait to start buying food with my hard-earned money. I don't have to feel guilty about buying anything. I can buy chips. I can buy candy. I don't eat those things, but I can buy it if I want to, and I don't have to feel guilty. I can buy milk and bread and eggs and cheese and any kind of meat I want and not feel guilty. Do you know how much of a relief that is to somebody like me who is so used to helping and hates asking for help? It's a big relief. So
now she's the perfect poster child for how a person who has been receiving food stamps should behave. She has something inside of her that says, I don't want to do this, I'm embarrassed by it. But you got other people who have to feel the sting of not having as much money and the sting of not being able to purchase what it is that you want to purchase on food stamps, for them to move away from it and say, you know what, I like chips and pop, so I guess I'll go work for it.
On top of the work requirement, we're seeing an alleged ban on buying junk food with your benefits. The original script here held nothing back, stating, you're going to have to work 80 hours a month on top of not being able to buy junk food. So, that's about to cause an uproar. Why the uproar? Because this policy cuts to the core of personal freedom. Our clips show people blowing huge amounts on soda, candy, and chips, all while critics complain that these users are flaunting their lack of financial stress. A lot of y'all sit up there, get your hair done, get your nails done, go out to the club, shit on hardworking people. The question is, are these new restrictions about health or are they about shaming? The debate is simple. Should the government dictate what kind of food people buy with benefits? Or should recipients have the freedom to manage their own food choices?
For all those parents that got 3, 4, 5, 6 kids, they were getting, $900, $1,000 a month, $1,300 a month. Hey, I'm not judging. I'm just telling you things that I know. They had already slashed them back in July. They didn't cut them off. They just slashed them and then gave them a work requirement. Yes, sir. I got friends. But now, with 2 million people losing their benefits, the holidays this year, Thanksgiving and Christmas is rolling up. We just got through Labor Day. These kids just went back to school. It's about to be survival of the fittest. Y'all think the women is ridiculous? You got to feed me and my 4 kids before we go on a date. Oh, it's about to be real. I mean, you decided to have all them kids, and guess what? The big, beautiful bill. You can't even afford to take care of your children.
Here is how I look at it, right? If I gotta pay to feed your kids, then I should have a say so on what they eat. Because anything outside of that, that's slavery. I'm working my ass off, paying these taxes, and you just get to ball out while I'm over here paying the taxes and you don't got no job and you balling out. That's crazy. If I gotta pay for your kids to eat, I deserve to pick what they get to eat. And I only want them to eat the most healthiest things because I want the best for you. That's how I feel about it.
I keep seeing videos about food stamps being cut off, and honestly, the woman in me, the gentle, feminine woman of me, I feel so bad, not for y'all as mothers, but for those children, because children need to eat, and unfortunately, children are not asked to be brought here. You guys are bringing them here, they're not asked to be brought here, and they are the ones who suffer at this whole bill adjustment or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
But I was just talking the other day about how responsible people who get an education, get a trade, find a hustle, however you do it, right? Responsible people who are high earners or sufficient earners who pay for everything themselves seem to be punished the most in America.
Yes.
Higher taxes. We don't get any assistance. We don't qualify for any assistance. And I think it is so backwards.
It's unfair.
Because it's kind of that thing of like, rewarding good behavior, right? I feel like too oftentimes in America, bad behavior, bad patterns are rewarded. For example, a woman who goes out there and continues to get pregnant over and over, knowing that she is already struggling with the first child.
It's not so much bad patterns being rewarded. That's what it has morphed into. But what happens is that the government comes in and tries to create some sort of assistance, and that assistance, that system gets taken advantage of. And so you have bad actors that come in and take something that's meant for good and they take advantage of it.
So guys, President Donald Trump is really changing the game out here, y'all. You guys remember like back in the day, like back in my day, when you got food stamps and it wasn't on a card? They made it more sophisticated now, so people are not exposed as far as using food stamps. Back in my day, we had a book. It was a $65 book. I can't remember what the other books were.
That's why it's called stamps.
The blue 5, the brown 1. I think it was a green 10.
Like Monopoly money.
We had to go in the store with these big old packets and thumb through it and kind of break them off, and, you know what I'm saying, man. But now, like back then, if you got a job, you actually would lose your food stamp benefits, or they would actually cut your food stamp benefits significantly, especially if they found out. You used to be able to get away with a whole lot of different food stamp stuff back in the day. Now you can't do that. But it's been recently, I think September 5th of this year,
of 2025. Trump is saying now that people who work can get food stamps. That means if you are already receiving food stamps and they cut your food stamps tremendously, that if you get a job, you actually get food stamps. I'm a little bit confused by this because the way that they're doing things now is they're actually cutting people food stamps now because they want to see documentation. They want to see paperwork on this, your household, how much this costs, how much that costs. They want to know how much your car payments is. They want to know how much your rent or your mortgage is. They want to know how much your car insurance is. They want to know so much when it comes to your personal life that they actually will cut your food stamps if you're doing a little bit better for yourself. So now Trump is saying that you can do better for yourself now and you can get food stamps.
I don't know if that's what he's saying.
That's kind of different to me.
So my thoughts about them cutting food stamps. So I feel like, and I'm just going to say it, the USA are basically some bullies because at the end of the day, these food prices for anything are around $5 to $6. And if you are a person that was used to relying on food stamps, you're going to have a harsh reality that food is expensive, especially when you have like 4 or 5 kids. One child, okay, myself, like I don't have any children. It's just myself. I buy food or whatever. But I'm just saying for the people that have like 5 and 6 kids, your bill is looking like $700. And who really got $700 to spend on food?
And most of y'all will be cut off of it. Most people don't have food stamps. You're getting taken off and you're cut off of that. Most people are losing their housing. You don't understand. There's a lot of people suffering and going through it. You have women 50, 60 getting up on social media crying, begging. They're tired. And then on top of that, school is about to start. School is around the corner. How I'm going to pay to get kids clothing or them uniforms, and how I'm going to put food on the table and things of that nature. They don't have no money. There's no jobs in the economy. Do you understand how hard it is right now in the economy? Most people don't know how to use the internet. They don't know how to make content. They don't know what's going on. They don't know, especially the boomers and people that's just used to working jobs. Like, yo, you don't understand, like, what people going through right now. You can only fucking imagine.
When the benefits dry up, people are going to be left hungry and, yes, potentially homeless. This is the cold, hard logic of the new policies. You are either forced into the workforce or you are left to fend for yourself. This is where the debate stops being about politics and starts being about survival. Is the goal of these changes to refine citizens and boost the economy? Or does it simply create a new underclass of hungry, desperate people?
To everybody out there who's talking about this is what you voted for when you voted for a Republican because you're mad because they're cutting food stamps, I want to let you all know that I am glad that they are cutting food stamps for people who are able-bodied adults without a dependent. If you are an able-bodied adult without any dependents, why is it that you are receiving food stamps in the first place? Why is it that you cannot get up and go to work like everybody else since you are an able-bodied adult without dependents? I'm glad that they're cutting food stamps. Now, I am not someone who thinks that nobody should ever get government assistance. You have fallen on hard times. I think it's fine if you need to get government assistance for a time. But I think there should be a limit to how much government assistance a person receives, especially if that person is an able-bodied adult. I've seen so many people abuse this system. If you are an able-bodied adult, the government is not the one who is responsible for you. You are the one who is responsible for yourself. It is up to you to take care of yourself. Now, if you need food stamps or you need government assistance for a time, maybe you fell on hard times, maybe you got laid off, through no fault of your own and you need government assistance for a time, that's fine. But it's a problem when you try to live on government assistance and make it a lifestyle. I shouldn't have to pay for an able-bodied adult. You should be able to get up, go to work, and pay for yourself.
This great reset needs to happen because you have to determine on how you vote. You're going to have to determine on, you're going to have to make better life choices. You can't just sit around and have the same old mindset of, I'm going to just keep having kids and stay on food stamps. That game is played out. That don't work no more. So now you're going to have better pussy management and say, you know what? If Ray can't take care of no kids and can't feed himself, I know goddamn well he can't feed me and another kid. So I'm going to have to go ahead and pass up on Ray even though I like his swag or whatever, but I'm gonna have to qualify a little bit better because I seen Keisha and her kids starving. It's necessary.
Everybody shut the fuck up. Hey, shut the fuck up. Let me tell you something right now.
If you made it this far, check out the video we just did where there may be a serial deleter out in Houston dropping bodies in the bayou. Now, 6 bodies in 1 week. The police says that there is no connection. Check it out.